One thing that keeps coming to mind is that humans are unpredictable.
Yeah.
And in the run up to Ukraine, the arguments that Putin would never do this, it's self destructive, as it turned out to be, actually. Uh, so I went against logic, but you're not using logic, you're using information that indicates a direction. Is that a way to think about it?
So the way I think about it, Jim, is we are using scientific methodology on the observations. The world is our experimental sort of bench. Think of it that way. And there are many experiments going on all the time. No, we're not conducting them. People are doing it. And we're observing, militaries are moving and people are migrating and all of that stuff is happening. And what we are doing is we're taking those data points and we're asking, can we understand this phenomenon better? Well, how did Newton figure out force equals mass times acceleration? He did some experiments systematically, got some data, found a correlation between force and acceleration. It was not perfectly linear, but he drew a line through it, right? And that became force equals mass times acceleration. Today we call it a law, Newton's first law. Well, why do we call it a law? Because it's valid well beyond the bounds of what the experiments were performed for. It seems to work everywhere. Okay. Now, let me bring you to what we do. It all begins with correlation. Correlation, when we apply logic, as you said, when we apply logical reasoning on top of what we're observing as correlations, which you can think of as processed outputs, then we can get to causation. For that, we need subject matter expertise. We have now ended up building what we call at least semi-causal models, right? They're not perfectly causal. We don't understand the minds of these people. Of course, we don't. We're not sitting inside them, so it's impossible to know. But at least we can get a semi-causal models where we are sort of sitting somewhere between correlation and causality, and continuously trying to figure out if we can get toward causality. That's what these things are built up for. Now that's very powerful. And so, yes, most computation in AI is sitting at the level of correlation only. We come in on top of that and say, can we actually really make sense from a causal perspective? A is not just correlated with B, A causes B. That kind of a thing.